Welcome to the demo of the FPI 6700 folding inserting system. This folding inserting system is designed to take paper or pre-folded documents, little inserts, reply envelopes, things like that, fold what needs folded, and put it in an envelope, seal the envelope, and then stack them. This machine does it very effectively. It does it at a maximum of 4,300 finished envelopes per hour. The system is very flexible, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that during this demo. And so I think let's just get to it. We're going to start with the feeders. So as we load paper in the feeders, it's very simple. Typically you'll have a stack of paper. You pull down on the side guide. You'll load your paper in one big block. You don't have to fan it. And then you'll close the side guide. That's all there is to loading paper. These feeders are really good. They're smart trays. What that means is they can process documents from 3.5 inches in length, like small cards like we have down here, a small blue card, maybe a business reply envelope, courtesy reply envelope, small glossy brochure, something like that, all the way up to legal size paper in any combination. So if you have a certain number of feeders, which you can have from 2 to 6 in this tower, you see here we have 5, then you can use the feed trays to your advantage. So for example, you may have a job that is one piece of paper, a letter for example, with a little insert, a little marketing piece or whatever. So you run that job. You can do that on a little 2-station system. Well, let's look at here and look at this 5-station. I have paper loaded in 4 of the trays, and I have a small insert in the bottom. I could have the next job be 4 inserts and 1 sheet. Or I could pull multiple sheets from a single tray, but I could pull 2 from the top, 3 from this one, 2 from this one. The system can fold up to 10 sheets of paper, so it's very flexible as to how you can use these feeders to accommodate your application needs. The top feeder on all of our folder inserters has what we call a semi-automatic mode, or daily mail. And what that means is that's just kind of like the daily mail that someone might be sitting at their desk, they may be stapling papers together and building a stack, and they'll come over to the folder inserter and they can process those stapled sets through the folding inserting system. These feeders are great. Sometimes we see where printers and copiers, the toner might stick pieces of paper together. Static and humidity have an effect on that also. And after the feed, the document is separated in the feeder, it goes to what we call our secure and feed thickness detector. And this is like a double document detection. It's an electromechanical device like what an engineer would use to measure the thickness of something. It doesn't use like light or anything weird. This is very specific. Our double document detection system, being mechanical, it's irrelevant what color that the paper is, if it has a lot of toner on one page and not on another. It will always detect the thickness of the paper. So from the same tray, for example, if you were running 4 pages, and they were collated, and we were pulling page 1, 2, 3, 4. One page could be white, the next one black, green, blue, it doesn't matter. As long as the thickness is the same, then they will be able to go through. That's a very nice feature to have because in some systems you have to turn your thickness detector off to run those types of applications, or applications where one page doesn't have a lot of text and the next page does. So that's great. Those are our secure and feed thickness detection. Down here below, we have what we call our accumulator, and this provides a place to collate documents as they're feeding from the feeders. So if we're pulling, 3 pages from one tray, it'll pull page 1, page 2, page 3, get them all nice and straight together before sending them to the folder. This is also a great place for the reply envelope or small cards to accumulate and get back out of the way so that they can process smoothly through the system. This accumulator is a big deal. It not only allows a place to accumulate documents so that everything that you feed from any feeder gets accumulated before folding and creates one nice packet, but it also straightens out the paper. So if the paper skews for some reason, or the side guides in the feed tray are crooked, the paper's curled, sometimes paper likes to turn a little bit. And what this accumulator does is once the paper's down there, it taps it against what we call paper stops, and it straightens everything out. So you'll get a nice, crisp, straight fold every time. No worries about crooked addresses showing up in Windows, things of that nature. So this is our Intellideck. This is the divert area. If a double feed happens, the documents will divert here. This is also great if you're reading document intelligence like optical marks or barcode reading, things of that nature. Those documents can be diverted here before folding. So if something is wrong, it's a double feed, you just restack the paper in a feeder and press the start button and it will continue on. This is our folder. This is our PowerFold 10. PowerFold 10 means we can fold up to 10 sheets of 20-pound paper at one time. So that's a big capacity. It's a knife folding system, which means it uses little metal blades to do the folding. With that combined with the foam rollers in there, there's no user maintenance for our folder. You simply just push the button and let it go. This is our VersaFeeder. Our VersaFeeder is great for items that can fit in the carrier envelope without needing folding. For example, here we have a number 9 size reply envelope that's going into a number 10 carrier envelope. That's fine. It's not needing folded because, of course, the folder's back here. So this can run things from reply envelopes, and you can see here we have 500 reply envelopes loaded up. It can also run thick items like pre-folded booklets, things up to 2.5 millimeters thick. It can go through here. As long as they're flexible, we can definitely process it through here. This gives you high capacity reply envelopes. This also gives you a high capacity and a place to put like really thick booklets that are being inserted. This now becomes the 7th station. And the system now, with a capacity of 7 stations, you can do just a world of different types of applications. Great for production environments. This is our inserter base. We have a really nice 10.7-inch color touchscreen. It's a glass cover, so it's a lot like a tablet that we're all used to, right? You can do things like scroll. These are our jobs, so we can scroll to the left or to the right in order to choose a job, one of up to 50 jobs in the system. There's a ability to press and hold to do different things. And of course, these ones have been secured. Here's one that's not. It will allow me to copy, edit, delete, or rename this job. We have secured some of your jobs, which is also a nice feature, so that once the job is perfect and dialed in, it can be secured so that someone doesn't accidentally change it. And that's what these little padlocks are for. And of course, on our demo system, we've got those jobs set and secured. The color touchscreen is really good. It's a very nice user interface. It walks the user through what to do next. For example, if I choose a job called addendums, and you can name these whatever your application is, bills, invoices, statements. In this case, it shows us that we're using a 6 by 9.5 envelope. These envelopes are going up to the exit stacker. We're doing a half fold in the folder, and it's going to pull 3 pages from the top tray and 2 pages from the tray underneath it. And if we were running anything else, it'll be listed here. So all we have to do is load that paper and press the screen start button. Load the paper, load the envelopes, press start, you're done. So as we move on, we have something that's really nice in here, which is our operator adjustable insert fingers. So the beauty of that for a user is that if you have different shapes of envelopes, different sizes, different shapes, and the throat changes shape, like that's this part in here, these little fingers are what open the envelope. Well, the user can adjust those fingers to fit that. 90% of the time, they can set it and never have to change it for different types of envelopes or different styles of throats. But to have it there is really important because a lot of times at the end of the year, we get weird envelopes, 1099s, W-2s, which are really kind of strange in a lot of cases, shallow throats, and they can make those adjustments to process those jobs. And here's our sealer. So you add water here, or sealing solution, excuse me. And the sealing or not is programmed in the job. Our envelope hopper is over here on the far left. It's a load on the fly envelope hopper, which means that it's feeding envelopes from the bottom, so we can load more envelopes on the top, and that's just what I'm going to do. This envelope hopper will hold up to 500 empty envelopes, and of course, being loaded on the fly, productivity will not end. So we're going to load the envelopes. We may be refilling feeders or removing filled envelopes from the vertical stacker here, which we'll show you in a minute, and you just throw some more envelopes on the top. The ability to have about 500 envelopes is quite nice, and then it's unending, and it doesn't stop the machine. Our feed trays over there are also load on the fly, so you can load them for continuous processing also. The VersaFeeders load on the fly. It's just an incredible machine that once you start it, you just keep going. This is our vertical stacker. This is where the exit and the filled envelopes end up. You can hold about 500 here vertically. And being a vertical stacker is great because it's like having a really long conveyor. So in this case, as it's processing, it just loads them up. And it keeps the print order. So if you're printed A to Z, it will output A to Z. The nice thing about the FPI 6700 is that you could also reverse the print order without having to change the actual print order. In other words, if they're printed A to Z and we want them to stay in A to Z, we would choose this vertical stacker as our exit. But if we needed them to come out Z to A, then what happens is you print them A to Z and we just go out this side exit. So there's a second exit here. And it will either go into a tall catch tray or onto a 4-foot conveyor. So we have options for changing the sort order or the print order over here. That's great when you're doing things like pre-sorted mailings where things have to stay in a particular order, but they have to print in a particular order. So this is great. So all in all, the FPI 6700 by FP Mailing Solutions is an incredible machine. It's very strong. It's fast at 4,300 finished envelopes an hour. It is very flexible with regards to applications, envelope sizes, media types, glossy papers, things of that nature. And it's all around just a very well-rounded machine for pretty much any office or production environment.